There are times when I am feeling so frustrated, and there's been times where I've wanted to give up. And honestly, even like 2 days ago, I felt like, oh my god, just so much resistance to carrying on what I was doing with my YouTube channel, and sometimes it just does get really difficult. That's why I wanted to make this video. I wanted to share 3 things I wish someone had told me when I started my YouTube channel. Because I think it's important that if you're going through this stuff, just to know that you're not alone and this happens probably to everyone. Hi, my name is Amy, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this video is 3 things I wish someone had told me when I started my YouTube channel. The first thing that I want to mention is technical issues. In the very beginning of starting my YouTube channel, this was the bane of my life, and I think that this is something that everyone's going to go through. And I realized this recently when one of my friends called me up, and weirdly we both started I started doing my YouTube channel again, and my friend decided that she was going to start a YouTube channel. She was calling me and she was like, Amy, everything's going wrong. Like, I just want to give up. And I was like, oh my God, I remember this happening to me. In the very beginning, it's like any technical issue that you can think of was going wrong. No storage left, camera's not working, camera's running out of battery, not being able to transfer files, like computers crashing, literally any technical issue you can think of. For some reason, all of it happened in the beginning. But I just want to remind you, if you're going through this is completely normal. Anyone that is working with computers, cameras, software is going to have had all of these issues. And I just want to remind you that this is normal. This is so normal. And these issues are literally just learning curves. Every time something like this happens and you overcome it, it's going to stop happening as frequently. Like for me now, I don't have as many technical issues because a lot of the technical issues that I was having before with like all the things I mentioned, I've sorted out and I've found a way to reduce them from happening. And that is just something that probably everyone's going to have to go through. I remember one time I had spent so much time making this YouTube video. Everything was going so well. And I think I'd literally come to the end of it. It was complete. It was basically complete. And then something unexpected happened and I lost my whole video, and I also just completely ran out of storage on my laptop. So not only did I lose the files, but I also couldn't even use my laptop anymore. I had to completely reboot it, and I was so upset. I was so frustrated. I remember just being like, oh, like I just want to give up in this moment. And basically what ended up happening was, I honestly felt like in the end that was meant to happen, because during that time that I was waiting for my laptop to reboot and so that I could get more storage, I spent that time learning how to edit. And so when it came to me creating this video again, I ended up creating the whole video again. The second time around, it was such a better video. And I just realized like it was meant to be that I lost them files and I couldn't use my laptop for them moments, because it meant that I did something else. I went onto YouTube and I was learning in that time. The second thing that I've wrote down is focus on one thing at a time. And this is so funny because I had a big lesson to do with this, like literally a couple of days ago. I was doing really well, uploading really consistently, and I felt like nothing could stop me in my tracks. Suddenly I started to feel this feeling of like anxiety and just tiredness. Promised myself I was gonna upload a video that day, but I just really didn't want to finish it. I'd edited the whole video. It was ready to upload. All I had left to do was the thumbnail and to actually upload it. And I just didn't want to. And one thing I have learned is, on my spiritual journey especially, and on my journey of just like getting into alignment, is when I have resistance like that, it's like I don't move forward. I want to deal with the resistance that I've got before. So like figure out where this is coming from. Why am I feeling so resistant to whatever I'm doing? So I did a breathwork session, and during this breathwork session, it was a really it was quite a deep one. And I had this voice inside my head that was basically saying to me, you are trying to do too much. Focus on storytelling first. I just had the biggest realization, and that was that I was trying to become good at everything at once. And because I was trying to do that, I was rushing my filming process. And because I was rushing it so much, it ended up being so inefficient. I was having to edit so much out because I wasn't happy with how I was speaking and how I was telling the story. My planning wasn't as good enough because I was rushing the plan. I realized I need to cut back and stop trying to run before I can even walk. And this is like, honestly, if someone had told me this before, like, focus on one thing at a time. If you're going to be doing this long term and this is something that you actually want to be doing long term, you've got to think of it as like the long game. What I try to do is enjoy every step of the way. So now that I've realized, okay, I need to focus on storytelling because that's like the main thing that I want to get good at first, because if I'm making informational videos and videos with value, then I want them to, that's like the main thing for me, making sure that that chunk of the video is like the best it can be. And then anything that comes after, editing or, you know, adding on titles and things like that, animations, that is going to be learnt next. So I'm prioritizing learning this first for however long that takes until I get to the point where I'm quicker at it and more efficient with it, and then I can start using extra time doing other things. Someone said recently on a video, which I found really, really helpful, people will be panicking that they're not going viral or making money doing their YouTube channels. And that's like step number 5. And they haven't even started step number 1 yet. They haven't even completed step number 1, which might be to, you know, practice making videos, keep uploading videos. And number 3, I've written down inspiration. And oh my God, this is so weird because today, so I just sat down for a break from work and I was noticing that I had this feeling of like dread and almost like this sadness just randomly coming into my body. And I decided to go inwards and really listen to what it was that it was saying. And something amazing happened after this. Something magical happened, which I did not expect at all. I closed my eyes and I focused my attention on this feeling inside my body, and I said to myself, I'm here, I'm listening, and whatever message that you have for me in this moment, I'm here to listen. And I told myself it's okay and it's normal to feel like this. And then I asked myself, when was the first time that I felt this feeling? And this technique I got from a process called the completion process by Teal Swan. Done this process many times, and it's blown my mind, like a lot of times that I've done it. To be honest, I wasn't expecting anything to happen today, but with this process is like an element of trust, because what happened was I had this image come up of myself in art class, and it was like a memory. And in my head, like my logical side of my mind was like, oh, this is ridiculous. Like, why would you be taken to this memory? There's nothing to see here. And I was just, but my other side of myself, there was another side of me that was like, just listen, just watch, just see what comes through, like just stay with it. And I decided to just carry on going with it and to see how the memory kind of played out. And I remember, so it took me to this time where I was in an exam in my art class, and this exam was like a 6-hour exam, and the whole class was told to prepare for it for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I was like one of the only people, I think, that just didn't do any preparation. I remember preparing like the night before and I just completely winged it. And I remember feeling like I was just so bad at art, and I just was like the only person in the art class that just felt like I didn't know what I was doing. Like the whole time I did GCSE art, like I honestly felt like that. I was like, I'm not meant to be an artist because clearly everyone here knows what they're doing and I do not have a clue. And I remember feeling so uninspired. And then this is when this clicked for me. This is when I realized why I was having this memory. I realized now that it wasn't to do with the fact that I was bad at art. It was actually because I was never taught in art how to get inspired. I've read so many books about creativity and art. One of the things that a lot of them speak about is getting inspiration. That I think there's a book called Steal Like an Artist, and it talks about how every good artist steals and just taking inspiration from literally everything. And I was never taught to do that in art. I never knew. I just thought that you had, like, to be a good artist, you come up with these ideas from nowhere. That led me to believe that I wasn't meant to be an artist. And for years and years and years, I never did any art or even did anything creative. When it comes to making YouTube videos and creating content online, one thing I wish I knew when I started was that if you're feeling uninspired, find ways to get inspired, basically. And you can get inspired by literally, there's so many different ways. Like, just look up how to, get inspiration. But one of the ways that I like to get inspired for videos is by watching other people's videos, seeing what other people are doing, seeing if I could do the same thing but make it my own, and just learning how to generate more ideas and getting inspired by things you've learned. But what do you think? Do you agree with these points? Is this something that you guys are going through? Let me know in the comments. But that is it for today's video. If you want to keep up with more of my videos, then I invite you to subscribe to my channel. But that's it for today, so goodbye.